Coming up next is Dr. Kimberly Taylor. Here's your chance to talk about what matters to you. Although you will receive helpful advice from Dr. Taylor, remember, this is not to be construed as a form of psychotherapy, diagnosis, or treatment, and cannot replace a therapeutic relationship with a mental health professional. You can reach Dr. Taylor by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290. You can also listen live on the internet at drkimtaylorshow.com. So here now is Dr. Kimberly Taylor.
So here we are at the end of the year, and there is always the question around the holidays of what gift to give. What are the perfect gifts for the people in your life? Well, as you are checking that list, make sure your name is at the top, and then ask yourself, what may you need to do to care for yourself at this time of year? It turns out the best gift that you can give to yourself this holiday season may very well be the gift of forgiveness. Nelson Mandela believed in the redemptive power of forgiveness. He said, you can never allow hatred and bitterness to rent space in your head. You simply cannot be free without forgiveness. And he believed that forgiveness and love were the only way to heal. Now, we've all been hurt by the words or actions of others. And if we live long enough, and you've probably then been hurt a few times. Whether it was a parent who was overbearing or unaffectionate, or absent or abusive, siblings who were cruel or jealous, teachers who were not understanding, strangers who did not know you, friends or lovers who betrayed you. We all have been hurt by others who were either insensitive, ignorant, unavailable, or self-absorbed. But if you continue to hold on to the past injury, you can actually re-victimize yourself in the present. And if you hold on to the past as an excuse not to be happy in the present, then you are truly trapped in your own life and making a choice to alter your world in a very negative way. So the real question becomes, how do you let go of a past injury, especially if it's really painful, so that you can move forward into a happier life? Well, we have to understand that we have a choice when someone hurts us. We can either hold on to the anger and resentment and even plan our revenge, or we can learn to forgive and to move forward. What are you holding on to in your life? Who have you been unable to forgive? And how much space does the pain and hurt from the past take up in your heart today? How long do you think that you can hold on to that without it affecting you? The problem with not forgiving is that it ultimately punishes you. And for most people, forgiveness can be difficult because it is unclear exactly what forgiveness is. So, forgiveness is not letting someone off the hook for hurting you. Forgiveness is not forgetting that someone has betrayed your trust. And forgiveness does not mean that you have to reconcile with a person who has hurt you. But what forgiveness is it's the act of releasing resentments, angers, or the desire to punish someone for the past. Forgiveness is letting go of the hurt and not using it as an excuse for everything that is wrong in your life today. Forgiveness is about choosing to no longer be bound to someone in an unhealthy way that ends up hurting you and does not allow you to move forward in your life. Forgiveness is also about coming from our highest self, and ultimately, when all is said and done, it does more for you than any apology ever will. Forgiveness is and always will be your choice, and really yours alone to make. Regardless of what happened to you or how you were hurt, you do have the power to heal your wounds and create a better life. In order to release yourself of this burden of carrying around all the anger and all the hurt from the past, try these following steps. First, really acknowledge the hurt and the pain that it has created. And then you have to be willing to own any part that you may have had in letting it happen or letting it continue so that you can let go of any guilt or shame that you hold on to. Also, recognize that you did survive. You are strong. You are okay. And then try and put yourself in their shoes and to try to understand where they were coming from and the issues that they had going on in their own life. In order to move on, you have to let the past stay in the past. Make it be a part of who you are in your experience, but not all of who you are today. And then release it. Let it go. Forgive. When someone hurts, angers, or disappoints you, you have a choice to either stay in the pain and negativity or to resolve your feelings in a very positive way that allows you to heal and move forward. It is Nelson Mandela's loving and forgiving soul that offers all of us hope and inspiration to be free of the past and to embrace the present and future with love. He did not forget what had been done to him, but he chose to forgive, and in the process, he set himself free, and in so doing, he freed a nation. So imagine what you can do when you choose to forgive. And imagine the space that you create by letting go and then leaving room to fill the space with something better, something positive. It's your choice. If you want to talk about the holidays or how to forgive or anything else on your mind, just get on the phone now. You can reach me by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290. I'll be right back after the break to take your calls. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290.
Okay, we're back here, and I'm with Sandy Jacoy, who is our screener here. Sandy, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
How about you? Yeah, it's nice to be here. Happy holidays to everybody.
Thanks. The same to you.
Thank you. Okay, so I loved what you brought in here today with forgiveness. Learned a lot listening to it, and
it's a big issue for people because most times I find that people think that forgiveness means that you really let the person off the hook, and it is a way of saying that that person didn't hurt you, and that's not what forgiveness is. It's really that it's something that you do for yourself, and I think it's important that people start to really think about it that way.
Don't you think that you got to get to a place of being able to be willing to let kind of go of that anger piece before you can even hit the forgiveness? Because we throw that out here a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pulp culture term, we need to forgive,
Right.
and it's just not that easy to do.
Well, I think it is a process that you do have to step yourself through and know that it isn't going to be quick. But the sooner that you can do it, the sooner you're unleashed from that past hurt and able to move forward. But to be honest, I think we ought to come up with a new word because I don't think forgiveness is it. I think it has to be something else that we just have a different meaning to, because I think forgiveness somehow has always meant doing it for someone else instead of really seeing that it's actually you do it for yourself.
Yeah. And then the effects of that, it comes back out there into the universe as a result of it. But yeah, no, maybe that would be a good one. We could add that to one of the new words in the dictionary. We'll have to get on that.
Rather than twerking.
Twerking.
Yeah, which is our new word this year, yes.
What are some of the effects of holding on to a grudge? I didn't hear you touch on that too much in the opening. But
well, the truth is that people can get so wrapped up in it that they really lose any joy that they feel in the present. And it really kind of saps your energy. It saps your positivity, your creativity, and it can really drag you down. Some people become quite depressed. They get stuck in the revenge aspect of it and, don't think that they'll be better until that other person suffers. So they spend a lot of time in that dark, angry, bitter place that if they don't face it, they will start to see their world as that way. So it can have a huge effect on how they live their life, how they want to engage with other people, and how trusting that they can become.
So I have a friend who has been going through a very difficult time, and it resulted from a betrayal of somebody who was very important to her. And, when we spend all of our time together, a lot of that time is spent with her complaining, well, not necessarily complaining, but just experiencing and expressing the pain and the anger associated with that. And I noticed that a lot of the time what the issue is that frustration that the other person isn't taking responsibility for it or isn't willing to do anything different. So do you have any words of advice for somebody who's dealing with a situation like that where they may never get the resolution from the person that harmed them?
Most often you don't. But the point of forgiveness is not to get the other person to change.
Yeah.
See, we think, okay, if I do this and I let you say you're sorry, does that mean that you are going to change? And the fact of the matter is that it's already happened. It was in the past. Most likely they are not going to change unless they really have a lot of remorse about it. But what it does, I think, is that you have to start to recognize who are the people in your life that actually care. Because if somebody hurts you and they really care about you, they will make amends.
Right. That makes sense. I hope she's listening. Are you listening? I hope she's listening.
Have her call in. We'll talk to her.
I would like that. That'd be good. And what happens if, so what if I'm the one that needs the forgiveness?
Yeah, well, we're all a human. We all make errors. So it may be also the time of year to think about, are there people that you need to go and say you're sorry? And it is surprising to see that when you can say that to someone and when you can look them in the eye and that they really get it, I mean, they get it on that level that they know you mean it, that it helps you, it helps them, it helps you to start over, but it also helps you see that people are going to disappoint you. They're going to hurt you sometimes, not because they intended to, but just because they weren't thinking or they made a mistake. And so you have to also, go through your own life and see that maybe you too have made that mistake. And if you can go through that process and forgive yourself, it also helps you probably forgive others who are just as human and might make these mistakes too.
And it's a good time of year to do that. So we're coming to a close of one year and usually following up with some New Year's resolutions, it could be a nice closure to a year to sort of make right with people.
And to not carry that kind of weight and baggage with you into the new year.
Yeah.
Yeah, be a great gift.
So do you have any books that you would recommend if somebody wanted to learn more about forgiveness or how to get through those stages? What would you recommend somebody to do if they wanted to work through something like this?
There are quite a few books out there. One of the books I do like is called Forgiveness and How to Make Peace with Your Past and Get On With Your Life. The authors are Simon and Simon. There's a first name to each of these Simons, but I don't recall.
It's not Paul, is it?
No,
Paul
it
Simon
isn't. No, it isn't. But it is very insightful and compassionate look, and it does take you through some of the steps. So that might be helpful, too.
Sounds good.
Yeah, there's that Mother Teresa poem titled Anyway. And that she talked about that sometimes people can be self-centered and they can make all of these errors, but the point is forgive them anyway. And there are other parts to that poem, but I thought it was lovely in just thinking that, yes, we all make errors. People, can mess up. But it's our job to keep on loving, to keep on coming from a good spot. And sometimes we just have to forgive them anyway so we can move on. So I thought
great
it was a
message.
Yeah.
For the end of the year, it's a great message.
Yeah. So, Sandy, do you have any other topics of interest around the holidays that you want to bring up?
I wanted to share something with you. I found this on the internet last week, actually. As you know, that food is a huge part of our holiday celebration in my household, and I love this. I loved what I found this.
Now, Sandy,
yes,
food is a big part of your life, not just around the holidays.
Oh my gosh,
Sandy
you're so right.
Sandy is, by the way, skinny. She's somebody who can just eat and it just doesn't show. So have at it.
Well, thank you for saying that. I'm not so sure about that, but I love this. It says the name of the article, it says the title is Holiday Survival Guide, 8 Strategies to Avoid Overeating, which, by the way, I don't understand why you would need to avoid that. But one of the strategies I thought was fantastic was that if you ate off red plates as opposed to white or blue plates, you didn't eat as much. And the author of this research study that said that the color red can work as like a subtle stop sign. That would be fine if you were somebody who like stopped when it turned red, but I didn't see that more as a yellow light. But I guess it would be important to have a red and not like an orange or a yellowy red. But that could guide and help you to reduce your intake. So I love that. So I told my family that we were throwing out all of our plates. We were buying red. It didn't work for me anyways, but I love that. And then there was another one too that I thought was actually very interesting and doesn't just speak to overeating, but maybe speaks to a lot of other issues that people are dealing with, which is that feeling guilty about a habit that you have. The research found that people who feel guilty after eating large amounts of snack foods tend to gain more weight than those who don't feel the guilt.
No, wait. So just because you feel guilty
that's
that
my
you
story.
gain more weight?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah, that the guilt in and of itself sets some kind of physiological thing going on in your body so that you gain more weight.
That adds calories?
That's what I'm going. What are you saying, Kim?
I'm saying I don't quite understand it.
I didn't need to understand it. I loved it. I thought that's great.
Sandy,
you just don't have to feel guilty about it.
I think it's called denial.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I hate it when you do that.
I know.
Yes. So red plates and don't feel guilty, and everybody have a great holiday season.
All right, Sandy, thanks for that. We have a call that is coming in, so Sandy's going to jump off here and go and take that call, and we're going to go to break, and we'll be right back. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290.
Hi, we're on the phone with Tony. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Dr. Taylor. I have a question for you, and it seems to be more probably during the holidays, but when we go down to visit my wife's family, which is out of town, and I like to go down and visit for a day or two, and it's okay, but usually any longer time than that, I get kind of, I don't know, I just don't want to stay and visit, but my wife really enjoys, she wants to stay there for like a week and visit all her friends and family, and which I don't blame her because she doesn't get to see those people very often.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of feel like the third heel, and she drags me around to these people's houses, and I'm supposed to be having a good time, and I really don't. Mm-hmm. And I feel guilty in a way because I should be supporting my wife, and being with my wife. But on the other hand, I just don't enjoy that. I don't. I'd much rather have her go down there for the whole week by herself and spend as much time as she wants with her family and friends, and she can get so much more out of it.
Okay.
And it just really causes a big guilt trip on my side, and I'm not quite sure what to do and how to handle that.
Okay, so you feel bad because you think that she wants you to be there, and that you feel bad because you think that you are letting her down. But what is the truth of that? Does she care if you're there, or does it cause a problem between the two of you? Or is she okay to have you spend some time but not all of the time?
Well, I'm sure she's okay with it, except I'm sure she
wait.
keep making excuses.
Wait. Did you ask her if she's okay with it, or are you just assuming she's okay with it?
She doesn't like having to explain to people why I don't want to spend the whole week down there with them, and I'm sure she's probably a little bit embarrassed about it.
So she is bothered that you don't. She feels bad that you don't want to spend time with her side of the family and her friends?
Yes.
Again, this is what she has said to you, that if it was up to her, she'd like you to be there.
Yes.
You're feeling bad because you have let her down.
Yeah. She's always got it on her mind that I'm not enjoying myself.
Okay.
And maybe have a tendency of showing it sometimes.
Okay. There could be two parts of this. Is number one, that you're not spending enough time with these people to actually develop a relationship. Could that be a part of it?
Yeah, because we only do get together for the holidays or whatever, or we don't make too many trips. And another thing is the sleeping arrangements. We go down to her mom's house, and either we have to kick her mom out of the bed, or we have to go get a hotel, or we end up sleeping on the couch, and it's just not comfortable for me. I feel real guilty about that, too.
Okay, so it sounds like you have to have a conversation with your wife that you come up with a compromise about what will work for the both of you. That she probably has no problem sleeping on the couch or being her mom's home, and that's not a big deal because it is her side of the family, and so that will always feel a little bit different. But maybe if you came up with a day or two more, but not the whole time, whether that would be okay with her.
Yeah, I could probably try that.
What are you wanting in this? To spend no time, less time, or to want to spend more time?
Probably just not as much time.
Okay.
I'm not a real talkative person. I don't have a whole lot of things to converse with people a lot of times. I'm more of I like to listen, but I'm not much of a talker, and I just feel like the third wheel a lot of times. Especially when they're talking about old past memories and experiences and old friends and things that I have never heard of before. I just kind of clam up, being the chauffeur.
Okay. But what you've said is that these are not people that you see often throughout the year. These are people that she kind of meets and catches up with during the holidays and reminisces about the past, and so it's fun for her to get with them because there is a past to talk about. But for you,
and she needs it, and I wanted to have that as much as she wants to.
Okay, all right. So it sounds like compromise to me that you go down and you might spend a day or two visiting. You see the people that you want to see with her, and then you head back and you let her stay there and enjoy the people that she wants to see and have the free time to do that without worrying about whether you're happy or not, or whether you're entertained, or whether you're bored and uncomfortable.
And
there is something that's bothering you about this, that maybe in fact you're finding that she does a lot of compromising for you, and she may be doing things that she doesn't necessarily love doing, but she does them because it means you get to spend the time together and because she knows that you enjoy it. So maybe what this is really bringing up, Tony, is the fact that you're feeling like maybe you aren't as generous in this area as she has been.
Okay.
And maybe what it would take is just a little bit more effort and maybe just a little bit more time. But it doesn't mean that you have to stay there for all of it.
Right. Okay.
Okay, because I think for sure that the reason we feel bad is because we know that some part of us should maybe show up in a better way, and that we
right. and I do feel that way,
yeah.
And I do want to make an effort because it's family. It's a great family, but like I say, I'm just not one to. I can't sit there and talk about the same thing every day for a few days in a row.
Okay, but what you could do is do it for just a little bit more.
Okay.
Not because it's something you want to do, but that this is one of those things that you do because it's something that your wife wants you to do. And when you do things that make your wife happy, she in turn will do things that will make you happy. And that is part of the ingredient of being able to keep and maintain a happy, healthy, long-term relationship.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes just changing our state of mind about something will help us tolerate the things that we need to do. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. We're on the phone now with Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Dr. Taylor. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome. What's on your mind?
I have a problem. I have 4 daughters, and they're all fighting. And I really want to get them all together for Christmas and see my grandbabies. But I'm afraid that it's going to end up being just a big fight between them all. But I'm not willing to do 4 different Christmases. How do I handle this?
Okay, so if there's grandbabies, we're talking about grown daughters?
Grown daughters and their children.
Okay. And the fighting is going on between the daughters?
Yes.
Okay, so you're wondering, how do you have a party and invite everyone when you know that they're not getting along?
Correct.
Okay. Is this something that you feel that you need to solve between them, or do you feel like this is something that they need to be able to resolve among themselves?
I know I can't resolve it between them.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm wanting everybody to just put aside their differences for the day and just enjoy being together.
Mm-hmm.
But I may be asking too much. And I also feel like if I don't have them all over, I'll be really sad that I don't get to spend it with my family.
What would it be like for you to send out an invitation to everybody? Say that you are having a Christmas party and you want them to come, and invite each of them to just show up. And that each one of them then will have to decide for themselves whether they are able to put aside their differences and come in order to celebrate Christmas.
What if I do that and then they come and still fight?
Let me ask you just a couple of questions about what's been going on with them. Is this something that's ongoing, or is this something brand new?
It's been going on. It seems like it's not always with the same ones. They might fight with one and then somebody else might fight with the other. So it's just a lot of animosity that seems to just circle around these girls.
Okay, so what you're saying is that they're pretty used to having this kind of relationship with each other.
Yes.
Okay. And is it any one or two that have this problem, or is it really all of them, the four?
It's more like the four, more of a behavior that they all have.
Have you ever sat them down and said, I understand that the four of you are still trying to figure out each other, and I understand that sometimes you have difficulty dealing with the differences between you, but that we are a family, that we do need to be able to come together, that what Christmas means is being able to come with a giving spirit and to be kind to one another, and that you would like for them to be able to show up and do that. And it doesn't mean that things are solved between them, but that you do want them to recognize that even though they are family, that they still can do this together. And it might be part of a healing process that they can at least be able to understand. They can be in the same room. They can disagree, but they don't have to not be there for family celebrations.
You know what? I have not done that because I tend to get pulled into their fights and accused of taking sides. But I think if I put that in my invitation to them, that might lay the groundwork for us to get together.
Well, and perhaps for all of you in this family, for you to learn your lesson that you can't fight other people's fight. You can't get in the middle and play a referee. That really all that you can do is to support their highest self, and for them to each see that each of them have a part in whatever is going on with their sisters. And if they could just focus on what their part is and either put it through a filter of what am I doing that is helping or what am I doing that is not helping. And if they can just stay focused on their part and stop blaming and pointing the finger, then they would be focused on what they do control, and they would have some sense of being empowered to come and be at a party and show up and be proud of the way that they acted regardless of what anybody else is doing.
I think that's something I can do. I think I'll send out their invitations, and because I might be clear if I write it, I'll do that, and we will try that. Thank you very much.
Well, and what would it be like for you, Tracy, to actually be out from the middle, to be able to be the role model of how you come into any kind of situation in which you might not like what it is, but you can at least like the way that you handle it and feel good about yourself, regardless of how other people are acting.
It would be a relief.
Okay, so maybe
It would take a lot of stress out of it.
that's right. And maybe what your girls do need is for you to show them that there is a way out. Because oftentimes in families, we get locked into these fights and we then get kind of cornered because we don't feel that there is a way out. This is a way out. It's a graceful way out. They don't have to wait until somebody else changes in order for them to be okay. That when they can do this on their own, they can find their way out of that corner. And it would be helpful in just beginning the healing process by having each of them look at just what their part is and what they can do about that. To be able to come together with the rest of their siblings.
That sounds like it's a good start.
It would be a wonderful gift to be able to give that to them.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's something I can work on.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290.
I have an email here that just came in. It says, Dear Dr. Kim, I heard your show was about forgiveness today, and I am emailing because I do not wish to speak on air. However, I have an issue holding on to anger from the past. I know it serves me less good than it does anything else, but what is one technique I could use to help get over some of that? Steve. Well, it's a great question because I think this is what people struggle with a lot is what do they need to do to move through this or past this? And what I would say to you is that the one thing that you have on your side is the power of choice. And that you need to be able to say to yourself that you're no longer going to be bound to someone else in this angry way so that they continue to affect your life in a negative way. And you can help yourself by perhaps knowing that you're going to stop waiting for them to change, or you're going to stop waiting for them to come and make it better. You can make it better sometimes just by writing yourself the letter. So it's going to be the healthier part of you that's going to be talking to that still angry part of you. And the healthy part is just going to say, I want my life back. I want to let go of this. I want to be able to move on. I'm so tired of carrying this and holding on to this. It's weighing me down. It's making me sad. I can't get it out of my heart or my head, but it no longer serves me. Make a promise that you will not let that person have this kind of power over your life. And Steve, what you can do is as you really empower yourself, each and every time this comes up, you make that promise to yourself. And that the more you do that, you will see that you are in the process of letting go of that which no longer serves you, letting go of the past pain. And the best revenge, if that's what you need, is to lead a happy and healthy and successful life. So we are talking about forgiveness today and how to go about ridding yourself of all the old baggage that you may be carrying around and that's keeping you from feeling free and happy in your own life. So you can make peace with the past so that you can move forward and have that healthy, loving, productive, and satisfying life. So give me a call if you have a question or to just get you on the path to forgiveness. You can call me at 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290. And now we have a call coming in, and let's see, I believe it's from Anne. Hi, Anne. Welcome to the program.
Hello, Dr. Taylor. I'm interested in talking to you today a little bit about tradition, family traditions, and how they should be carried on. What I really want to know is it the responsibility of the oldest members of the family to kind of insist on carrying on in the old way, or should they be more modern?
And what would more modern look like to you?
Well, it would probably be doing it differently. I'm modern in that sense that I just used it was as the kids might like to do it, or as the younger people might like to do it, which would be just different.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily bad, but just differently.
Okay, so that the modern would be what would be added from the kids, from the ones who
Yeah.
are younger. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. And
Which might be a lessening of tradition.
what you're saying, though, is that your part as one of the elders in the family, it would be to hold on to some of the tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would be up to the younger ones to bring in the more young or new kinds of traditions.
Yes.
Okay.
But as the elder, should I insist or persist in the tradition? Or should I be more flexible and let that go and let the newer ideas in?
Okay. And are the new ideas flowing in, or are you just tired of bringing yours to the party?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
There seems to me like an old-fashioned sort of rule is that if you accept an invitation to a party, that means that you need to spruce yourself up and you need to bring your best self and add to the party, not just come to be entertained or fed.
Okay. And I think that's a very important tradition to carry on and to instill in others, because that's something that the younger ones need to really learn. It's about respecting others. It's about showing up and being present for someone else instead of just for yourself. And all of that, I think, is very, very important.
And writing a thank you note after.
Mm-hmm.
You feel that it might be important to hold on to some of those things at least.
I think that is what a family is about, is that we have the different generations, and each generation adds to the family. It's not that one is taken away, it's that each generation has important lessons to pass on to the next.
That's true, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So someplace along the way, the older generation, though, has to release some of the, I guess I'm going to say, discipline of it in order to allow some of the newer things to flow in, the younger, more modern things to flow in.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be equal, doesn't it?
No, I think it's just a natural progression.
All right, well, I'm going to hold on to then some of the old stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you hold on to what is important to you, and you let that be what you pass on to others, because that sounds like it is important to you, and it's something that you would like others to know about. And so by holding on to it and being a role model of that, that's how we teach.
Okay. Thank you then, Dr. Taylor.
Okay. Does that help? Do you think that's something you can hold on to and to...
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Because I don't want to let go by those things that I think are still important,
Mm-hmm.
like good manners,
Mm-hmm.
for instance.
Mm-hmm.
I need to find a way to do it without preaching or without being an old fuddy-duddy.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be the trick for me. I just don't want to stand up and make a big announcement about this is what I expect everyone to do. But I would like it to get known somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to work on that part of it, I think.
Okay. And I think that as families grow, that you do need to be open to some change. But it doesn't mean that some of these things that you have brought up are the things that need to be changed. Maybe it's about, who has Christmas Eve or where it is or what you have for dinner or things like that. But these are some of the ideals and things that are important that you shouldn't be trying to let go of. You should uphold those and let your kids and grandkids know about that.
Okay. I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. And happy holidays.
Bye-bye.
I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. So we're coming to the end of the program again, and the end of the year is right around the corner. In the hustle and bustle of the holidays, I want you to take some time to reflect and ask yourself, what might you need to let go of to move forward in the new year with more peace and happiness in your heart? Think about forgiving and letting go of all the past hurts, not for the sake of the other person, but as a gift you give yourself, to be able to be free and unburdened by the pain and resentment and disappointment of others that has already happened and is in the past. Forgiveness is ultimately that gift that we give to ourselves. To be honest, this isn't even something that you have to unwrap. It's something that you can do, and it's about putting the past in its place and allowing the wounds to heal so that you can be free to enjoy your present and future life. And there's a real truth in that, is that until we forgive, we can't really heal that wound, and it just stays open, and we keep kind of picking at the scab. So as long as you don't let it go, it's still going to be there. It's the process of forgiving and letting it go that begins the healing process. And the truth is that when you no longer define yourself by how you've been hurt, you might even find your compassion and empathy and understanding. So let this holiday season be one of joy and move forward with an open heart. I want you to take good care of yourself. I'm going to be here next Thursday, so I hope that you're here too. I want to leave you just with a thought too, that if you do need more help and you want a book about forgiveness, there is one that I do like, and it's called How to Make Peace with Your Past and Get On with Your Life. It's by Dr. Sidney Simon and Susan Simon. And that might certainly help. So until then, if you have any questions, any suggestions for the show or topics that you would like conveyed, just send me an email, and I welcome your comments. You can email me at drkim@drkimtaylorshow.com. And I want to let you know that now there are several ways that you can tune in and participate on the Dr. Kim Taylor Show. Of course, you can listen here at KZSB AM 1290 every Thursday afternoon from 2 to 3 p.m., or you can listen to the program live on the internet or even on your smartphone now. So all you need to do is go to my website at drkimtaylorshow.com and click on the radio icon. And if you want to listen to any past shows, you can now find them posted on my website, or you can download them for free as a podcast on iTunes. And if you subscribe through iTunes, you will automatically be sent the podcasts as they become available. Or at least that's what my tech guy tells me. So check it out. Now there's no excuse for not tuning in. Oh, and one more note. These shows can be heard again on the rebroadcast Thursdays at 10 p.m. and Sundays at noon, right here at KZSB. As we close out the year, I want to make sure to thank Sandy Jacoy, my screener and very dear friend. And, of course, I want to thank Richard Dugan, who keeps things going, pushing the buttons behind the scenes here. So let's keep this Thursday afternoon date going into the new year. Write it in your calendars, tell your friends, and make some notes about what you would like to talk about. And then give me a call. I'll be here every Thursday afternoon, so I hope that you'll be here too. Meanwhile, have a great week, have a great holiday, and don't forget to be good to yourself. And remember, nobody else has to change in order for you to get better. Happy holidays and take good care.